Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Eating Myself In. My name's Alex and today I'm going to talk about 5 mistakes I made when starting Mounjaro, and I don't want you to do the same. So I'm saying 5, it might be more, I haven't decided, there might be loads more, but I'm starting with 5. So here we go. I started my journey on the 8th of September, so I'm now on my 12th week. I can't actually believe it's been 12 weeks. Um, that's crazy that it's been 12 weeks. The reason it feels crazy is because, and I think I've said it before, it doesn't feel like a diet. You know what I mean? Like when I've done it before and yo-yo dieted and tried so many things before, and you just up and down and up and down. This has been, I don't want to use the word easy because it's not easy. We still have to make the right choices, but 12 weeks and I'm still feeling as motivated as ever, as I ever was. Anyway, right, so my very first one is something I did straight away. Don't assume that the medication is not going to work or isn't working. Don't do it. I did this and I made a huge mistake because I've been big all my life and I've tried so many things in the past to lose weight, and some that I've been successful for a short time. My brain is programmed that I'm going to be fat for the rest of my life. Nothing is going to work for me. And I bet some of you feel the same. So why is this a big one? My first one, it's the biggest one for me. Because I thought that this wasn't going to work for me, I rushed it. I took my first 2.5 dose, and although I did get some suppression with my first dose, I felt like it wasn't working. All right. And I thought, although this is how silly it is, although I wasn't as hungry, when I ate my food, I was fuller quicker, so I didn't eat the same portion sizes I was eating before. I was satisfied because I don't know what I was expecting. It might have been some kind of, I'd wake up in the morning, I'm expecting all these side effects, and I don't know what I was expecting, but I just felt normal. I felt absolutely normal, and so I'm panicking, thinking it's not working. It's not going to work for me. It'll work for everybody else, but it won't work for me. So because of that, I rushed up my doses. So my first 4 weeks, I went in at 100 miles an hour. I was taking my dose 2.5 every 5 days straight away. All right. And it was working for me. Don't get me wrong. I was happy with it. But what happened next was I moved up to the 5 milligram dose after the 4 weeks, because in my brain, I'm thinking the more Mounjaro I've got in my system, the more weight I'm going to lose. And I'm here to tell you, after 12 weeks, that's not how it works. So don't assume it's not going to work and don't rush through those doses. Your body needs time to adjust to the medication. So say, for example, you take your first dose, it's 2.5, and you may not notice much of a suppression. You've also got to understand everybody's different. Some people on their first dose, they can't eat. They're like fully suppressed and a bit hypersensitive to it. And some people aren't. So I thought that it wasn't working. And then I'd started taking it every 5 days, and it did work brilliantly for me. So although I'm saying don't do that, I'm explaining what I did because I'm in things 100 miles an hour. That's just the type of person I am. So when it came to moving up to the 5 milligram, I was excited to do it. I was excited to do it because I thought, wow, if I'm doing this well on the 2.5, I'm going to do even better when I take the 5 milligram. And it doesn't work like that. After my second dose of 5 milligram, I felt awful. And what we've got to understand with the way that our body's working with this medication is that the 2.5 dose might not necessarily be the dose that is going to be the one that's good for you, as in appetite suppression, losing weight. It might not be. But what happens is you take your first dose of 2.5 and then 7 days later you take your next dose. But you still have Mounjaro in your system when you take your next dose. So say that's your first dose and then you take your second and it goes on top. Now, obviously, our bodies do process it and it does leave our bodies eventually. But after 7 days, it is still in our body. So you've taken your next dose and it's gone on top. So then you've got a little bit more in your system than you did have when you took your first 2.5. And then it happens again with the next dose and the next dose. And that's why they want us to titrate up slowly, because it's like overlapping the medication in your body, letting your body get used to it. And hopefully, the 2.5 is then going to start doing what it needs to do for you. I went the other way and I went up to 5 milligrams way too soon. I felt absolutely awful. I did a video on it. I think what did I title it? Was the 5 milligram too much for me? And it's because I am so impatient. I will go at things 100 miles an hour. Honestly, I'm terrible. And it really had a bad effect on me. So my first bit of advice of a mistake not to make: don't assume it's not going to work. Go into it confident that it is going to work. All right? Right, number 2. Don't expect the medication to do everything. It's a tool. It's a fantastic tool, but it is a tool. I know it sounds silly, right? It sounds silly, but you might be going into it thinking that it's a magic drug, that it's like you inject yourself and then the fat just melts away. I mean, I'm sure you don't think that. I'm sure you don't. But, we are kind of, for me, I would always take shortcuts to losing weight, right? I needed to change my brain. I still need to change my brain. And I still haven't managed to, I don't think, all right, if I'm honest with myself. But this medication is a tool. If you're going to take the medication and have your appetite suppressed, right, but when you do get hungry, you go to McDonald's and you have a Big Mac meal with a large chips and a strawberry milkshake, it's not going to work, is it? It's not going to work. So you still have to put in the work, and before you start taking this medication, make sure that you're ready mentally. You know what I mean? For me, I'm just speaking from personal experience of my yo-yo dieting, and then let's finish a diet. So I've been on a diet and I've lost 3 stone, but I'm starting to cheat a little bit here and there. I get on the scales, I'm another £3 gone up, right? And I'm like, what's the bloody point of this? I'm working really hard. I only had a takeaway, and it goes like that. And then the cycle just repeats and repeats and repeats. And then, you'll put maybe all the weight back on and a couple of stone. And then you think, I can't do this anymore. I really need to go on a diet. And you start a diet and you're really motivated, aren't you? Right, don't take this medication until you're in that zone, until you're ready to commit. Because, yeah, it's great. If this medication had been around years ago, I think I would have been really successful on it years ago. Unfortunately, I'm 50 and, I'm only just starting, but that's fine. If you're younger, great. But, be in the right frame of mind. It's not going to just fall off. It's not like you don't have to do any work. You do have to make sacrifices. the great thing about it is it's not going to be as difficult because it is like liquid willpower. So you won't be reaching for those crisps, you won't be reaching for the chocolate bar. That's what it does. It helps you make the right choices. And for me, it helps with craving healthy whole foods, actually, which is a bit bizarre, but it does, it honestly does. So don't start until you're mentally ready to do it, and don't feel like it's just going to melt your fat away. You do have to work at it. So that leads me on to number 3, diet. So I've been in all my videos telling you guys how I am gonna still eat carbs because I need it to be sustainable. Okay, and I do need it to be sustainable. I don't want to deprive myself of everything I love. However, a mistake I have been making and I'm correcting now is protein. Protein, protein, protein. If you don't get enough protein in your diet, you're going to lose muscle. Not only are you going to lose muscle, you're going to feel fatigued, you're going to feel weak in your muscles, and you're going to be losing weight. Great, but it's not going to be the right weight that you want to lose. We really have to, and I know you've probably heard this from everybody else, but the reason you hear it from everybody else is because it's so bloody important that we get our protein in. Now, I've only just, now for me, because I'm like, I work around food. I know I've done diets for years and years and years. I'm quite good with estimating calories. I've been counting calories for donkeys. So I've just been kind of going along on my journey of, well, yeah, that's all right. I've got a chicken breast there, that's protein. I've got a sweet potato, that's complex carbs. And I've got some veg on the side, again, complex carbs, fiber, brilliant. But I haven't been logging my protein, and I have not been eating enough protein. And so all that's going to happen with that is that I'm going to start, my weight loss is going to slow down. And because as soon as you start losing muscle mass, your metabolism slows down. So it's so important to keep your protein up. I think they say try and get in 100 grams of protein a day. I haven't managed the 100 grams a day. I am trying to hit the 80. I do this with protein in my coffee, and I have protein yogurts. So I'm not a big breakfast eater, and I know that it's should be something that I start doing, but I just find it very difficult to eat breakfast. And so I'll have a protein coffee and I'll have a protein yogurt, which I've shown you, for sort of 11 o'clock ish. And then I'll have my dinner. And I wasn't getting in enough protein, and I've really started to notice it. So I'm going to make more of an effort, and you should too. So protein, protein, protein. Right, the next one is water. Water, 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 more water. While you're at it, grab some water, and, with your dinner, have some water. Just drink water. Literally, water, water, water is, it's crazy how much water you need to drink, really. I've never been a big drinker of anything all day anyway. I'm really terrible with it. But I have been drinking so much water lately. Water is so important, not just for your digestive system. I suffered hugely with constipation, and so the water intake for me was one of my mistakes. I wasn't drinking enough. I thought I was, because I was drinking like twice as much as I was before, but it still wasn't enough. So I am trying my best to drink at least, what would I say, 500 ml bottles of water a day at least. Plus I'm having, my normal kind, I'll have some juice, or I'll have, my coffee or a cup of tea. But I know that all counts towards your water intake, but I'm just trying to consume as much plain water as I can. It's so important. Sometimes if you feel like you're hungry, it might not be that you're hungry. It might just be that you need to drink a glass of water and then you're going to feel fine. Now, I knew this. I've known this for years and years, right? I've known it for years. But have I ever tried it? Have I ever been hungry and thought, right, I'm going to drink a glass of water and see if I don't feel hungry anymore? Have I? How? When I've been hungry, I've ate some food, normally something shit. So try it, because I have, and it definitely does work. If you're hungry and it's not time for, you've had your meals and you've planned out your meals and you're hungry in between meals, drink a glass of water and then make a decision to see if you're hungry or not. Also, drinking enough water is going to help keep away some side effects that you might get taking Mounjaro, like nausea or constipation. I suffered from constipation so badly at first, and again, I wasn't drinking enough water, and probably not eating enough fiber, and I've sorted that out now. But it is so important that your body's digestive system is supported by water, because you'll thank you did it. You'll thank yourself for doing it. And also nausea. Now, I've never suffered really, maybe a touch with nausea on Mounjaro, but drinking plenty of water can also ease nausea. So I've been told. So thought I'd pass that on. Right, the next one. And I can't remember how many I've done so far. So I'll have to watch it back and see how many I've done, because already I've forgotten. But this is a really important one. Don't assume that you're in a calorie deficit. Right. So this was a huge mistake I made. Like I just said, I stupidly thought that I have a good idea of calories and I didn't want to count calories. I didn't want, as soon as I start counting calories, it makes it feel like a diet, right? And so I was avoiding that. I didn't want to do that because I didn't want it to feel like a diet. But then I made a huge error, because as a treat every day, a few weeks ago now, this is a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, I made a homemade rice pudding, and I dished them all out into these little tiny bowls. And there was probably about 2 tablespoons of rice pudding in each little tub, really tiny tubs. And I would have that in the evening as my little treat, is what I would tell myself. Why do we treat ourselves with food, for one? But it's ingrained in us, it's ingrained in me. So yeah, that's what I was doing. I was treating myself with my rice pudding. Well, I was doing so well with all the other things I was eating, and I really was. But then I wasn't getting a loss and I couldn't understand it. I thought, why the bloody hell am I not losing? Because I'm doing really well. So I put my rice pudding in as a recipe into MyFitnessPal, and it came out that it was 707 calories just for that tiny little bloody pot. Tiny little bloody pot. So I was obviously so shocked that I'd even done that, and I haven't had the rice pudding since. So when I say make sure you're in a calorie deficit, you may not want to count calories, just like I don't. But it is important that we have an idea of what calories we need to eat to keep us healthy, and also not to lose weight too fast and set yourself into a starvation mode, which is going to make you stall, right? So what I would recommend, and what I've done, is go on to a TDEE calculator. I actually think the NHS has got one now. If you just Google it, it will come up. If I can remember, I'll put it in the description. It stands for total daily energy expenditure. Put your teeth in. Expenditure. And so basically, how many calories at your current weight, you would need to eat to maintain the weight that you currently are. All right. Now, this is important because you need to check this really every week or every other week at the very minimum. Because as you lose weight, that figure is going to change. It's going to go down. And we need to be in a calorie deficit to lose weight. Okay. So you need to be on top of that. Now, I'm not saying you've got to count all your calories, right? But it's a good idea to maybe count your calories once or twice a week. You're probably eating similar foods anyway, right? So just do it a couple of days a week just to check, just to double check that you are actually in a calorie deficit, because I made this mistake and now I am putting lots of stuff that I'm eating into my Fitness Pal, even things that I may not have counted before, which I knew I should be counting, but in my head they don't really add up to that much. But if you add them up, they're a lot. Things like the oil used in your cooking, the butter you put on your jacket potato, you know, the 2 chips you put in your mouth after dishing up your kids' dinner. All those little things. You might grab a couple of apple slices out of your kids' lunchbox or whatever, right? They've brought some back, whatever. Everything you put in your mouth has calories, apart from water, obviously, but we're talking food. So make sure you are in a deficit, because I screwed up hugely with that. So yeah, give that a go. Right. So last, but what is the saying? Last, but as oh, I'm just going to say last but not least, but that's not what I wanted to say. But anyway, yeah, last but not least, don't compare your journey to someone else's. We all have different metabolisms, for one. Some of us are very active. Some of us aren't able to be very active. Some of us might have, you know, problems with diet and allergies and stuff, that you have to eat a certain way. Everybody's different on this journey. And if you're constantly comparing yourself to other people's journeys, all it's going to do, if you're not reaching the same targets that they've reached, you're going to just feel crap about it. You're going to feel like, what am I doing wrong? Why are they getting such great results? And I'm just doing everything I can and I'm having a shit result. Because everyone's different and we all react differently. You might be only on your first dose of 2.5. You might even have gone up to 5 or 7.5. Everyone's different in how they react to the doses as well. It may just be that you haven't reached that dose that's the sweet spot for you. So don't get disheartened about other people doing really, really well and you're not. Keep going, keep fighting, and you will be a winner. You will. It's about changing our mindset and not thinking everyone is working for everybody else. And it kind of goes back to my very first mistake that I spoke about. It's working for everybody else, but it's not going to work for me. And we need to have more positive outlook. And if you do come at it with a bit more of a positive attitude, as in, I'm not going to compare myself to anybody else because I know I can do it, but it doesn't matter how long it takes. If you really believe that, then this journey is going to be so much easier and nicer and more pleasurable than worrying about what Joe Bloggs is doing down the road compared to you. So don't compare yourself to anybody else. So as for me, I'm on my week 12. I can't believe it's been 3 months and I'm doing all right. I'm starting to calorie count a bit more this week. I've taken a lot of advice on board of people in my comments. I really appreciate all of you for commenting for me. I'm still learning, and although I've been on it 12 weeks, I feel like I'm still learning a lot. And so I'm probably do another one of these videos in another 3 months time when I've learned a lot more. So I'm certainly not a guru on this. I'm just trying to tell you the mistakes I've made, and hope that it can help you not make the same mistakes as me. But yeah, I'm on this journey, and I'm a bit of a snail pace at it. What have I lost? 2 stone. I can't even remember last. Oh, 2 stone, 2.4 pounds was it, or something like that? I can't remember now. And I'm really proud of that, and I'm just proud of my total loss, which is almost 150 pounds. I'm hoping to smash through that barrier actually this week. We'll see. That would be amazing to get to the 150 pounds. And I'm just documenting it, not just for you, but for me too. And it's I love all the support that you guys give me. So thank you again. I know I always say it, but I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Mwah. Thank you all so much for watching. If you've got this far and you would like to smash that like button, I would really appreciate it. It goes a long way to helping the channel get out to more people. If you want to subscribe to me because you like me waffling on for ages, then great, please subscribe. If you've got a friend who's going through this journey and you think they might get some help or knowledge from probably not knowledge from me, but you know, if you think it might help them, then share the video. I'd love you to do that. And I will be back on, well, I don't know if I've got to be in work on Monday or not, but yeah, Monday or Tuesday I shall do my update video, and I'll see you all soon. So thanks for watching. Take care. See you later.